Good evening. Welcome to Thai PBS English News Service. Tonight you're with me, Rungtip Chonapalai. Last night, a group of 3 insurgents were captured by a CCTV cameras as they attempted to instigate violence at more than 20 places in Pattani. This afternoon, another round of car bombing struck the troubled province, causing more damage, bringing even more tension to the restive south. Investigators at the scene collected evidence from the car bomb, which was detonated in a municipal parking lot in Panare district of Pattani this afternoon. The blast damaged 7 vehicles parked nearby. According to police investigators, the Toyota Vigo pickup truck, which was used in the car bomb attack, was displaying fake license plates on both front and back. The pickup truck entered the district without passing through any security inspections. The authorities are currently trying to ascertain whether the real owner of the vehicle has been robbed or even murdered. Officials have launched a manhunt for the group of 3 militants who were captured by a CCTV cameras inciting violence at more than 20 locations in Pattani last night. The insurgents were seen setting fire to a petrol pump at a petrol station in Kaew district. They are believed to be the same group of people who lit more than 20 fires in Pattani, including at a convenience store where a CCTV camera and a power transformer were damaged. Meanwhile, in Narathiwat, soldiers responsible for protecting school teachers narrowly avoided injury when a bomb was detonated nearby as they passed by on foot patrol. Security has been strengthened throughout the southernmost provinces today after it had been reported that there may be more violence during the Hari Raya or the end of the Muslim fasting period later this week. During the second day of Parliament's 2013 budget debate, opposition parties debated the unfairness of the flood compensation scheme. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Eng.News insisted that the flood prevention budget will be transparently spent. Prime Minister Eng.News explained that the public spending detail in the 2013 budget bill will be managed transparently, especially the 3.5 billion baht flood prevention budget. The opposition has raised significant concerns about the auction process that is being used in the process of spending those public funds. The Prime Minister pointed out that the first part of the auction process is to invite interested parties to bid, followed by a detailed screening process of the companies that wish to take part. The opposition also focused on what they see as the unfairness and the lack of the transparency inherent in the spending of flood compensation funds relating to last year's floods. Following the meeting between the Ministries of Energy, Transport, Agriculture and the Taxi Drivers Association, the taxi drivers' request to extend the usable life of taxis from 9 years to 12 years has been approved. Earlier, I spoke with Dr. Chien Chuang Kalyanamit, a member of the Business and Economic Committee of the National Research Council of Thailand, who stressed that Thailand must develop a long-term energy policy.
In a way, the credit bureau is watching that. It's equal to any credit card else, but this is without interest as much as like a regular credit card else.
Well, but when we think of the credit card like this, and we try to relate it to the situation of the price of the energy right now, you think that anything that should be done?
Definitely, because this is the only ministry that has no policy. Repeat again, no policy. So that its fluctuation from on the front page newspaper from day to day, wherever the price of the gasoline, LPG, CNG, and NGV in Thailand, we call that, and gasoline is fluctuated. So that it should stop, so that we don't have the regulatory body of which control the gas and the fuel price. We have only regulatory body of the electricity, so that it should be expanded through that. We should not leave it for the mercy of PTT, because PTT is no longer the 100% owned by state, so that we can use that particular firm to balance of the power or balance of the profit on that. Now they make so much profit. Last year, more than 100 billion baht profit. In this case, it's our money.
But then that The government should do something for the Thai people.
That's correct, because otherwise Thai people will think this is part of the excise tax. Yeah, it could be. This is the way how it is, because when we compare to Malaysia, how come exactly the same gas price, the same from the same location,
and we have all the same similar natural resources.
Correct, that's right. Okay, we have the same JDA, which is the same location, now selling in Malaysia at 6 baht and 50 stang per kilogram, but in Thailand 10 baht and 50 stang. Something should be asked to the Ministry of Energy.
Authorities have found state employees allegedly involved in corruption related to the rice pledging scheme in Sakonnakhon province. They are now interrogating the farmers to gather more evidence. Meanwhile, provincial leaders like those in Mahasarakham province are stepping up corruption prevention measures in an effort to combat graft occurring in the government's rice pledging scheme.
In Sakonnakhon province, officials from the Department of Special Investigation, or DSI, and local police are still interrogating over 100 rice farmers who pledged their crop to the government's rice pledging scheme in an effort to uncover additional evidence of corruption involving the rice millers in the province. Earlier, police detained employees of the Public Warehouse Organization, or PWO, and 3 farmer representatives because they are suspected to be involved in graft. They were caught reducing the moisture level and the weight of pledged rice, as well as issuing fake Pratuan documents, a document which farmers present at a bank to get paid for the rice they put into the pledging scheme. The authorities say that they are in the process of securing evidence before forwarding the case to the Office of Public Sector Anti-Corruption Commission, or PACC. The problem of corruption in rice pledging is rife in many provinces. This has resulted in the instigation of many preventative measures. For example, the provincial governor of Mahasarakham province and the police have personally inspected the only local mill involved in the government's rice pledging scheme, but they failed to find any abnormalities in the operation. Meanwhile, a recent survey by the University of the Thai Chamber of Commerce found that the rice farmers' debt per household has increased by 6.6%, or an average of 130,000 baht. The farmers are believed to be incurring more debt as they expand their production in order to pledge more rice to the government's rice pledging scheme. The survey also discovered that more than 99% of farmers incurred debts through unofficial means, such as by borrowing from loan sharks.
As we approach this year's rainy season, many people nationwide are getting increasingly concerned that we will see a repeat of the mayhem caused by the inundation last year. While the government is spending billions of baht on its flood prevention scheme, many of last year's flood victims are yet to receive a single baht in compensation. The severe flooding last year saw much of the country, including parts of the capital, under several feet of water. This left people and businesses to deal with many problems, including, in some cases, complete relocation of their home and business. Here's one of the last year flood victims and a homeowner in Taninthorn village in Don Mueang said she has little, if any, confidence in the government's handling of the situation, especially regarding the compensation procedure, which she complains is excessively slow and bureaucratic. Since the floods forced her to abandon her home last year, she has not returned. She finally received the promised compensation last month. Deputy Director of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation at the Ministry of Interior said that distribution of the compensation is underway and will be completed by the end of August. He added that the government set up the Water and Flood Management Commission to work to prevent such severe flooding again this year, and they have separated the water courses into 3 sections: upstream, midstream, and downstream.
From the plan from the Committee of the Water and Flood Management, they focus on the 11 provinces and including Bangkok metropolitan. That's like a risk area. I think that if the plan have already implemented, that the risk for flood is maybe reduced. practice and hopefully that there's no flood next year.
However, many flood victims want the government to provide accurate and transparent information about flooding and not distort the facts to enable households to be well informed and prepare accordingly. Kaew, the Thai Olympic boxer, visited ThaiPBS studios this morning after he brought the silver medal back to Thailand. With a broad smile, Kaew was surrounded by many ThaiPBS staff and was given a lot of flowers and a very warm welcome. Kaew, accompanied by other Thai Olympic athletes and coaches, visited ThaiPBS today after returning from the Summer Olympic Games in London on Tuesday. Kaew and the other boxers were interviewed at ThaiPBS studios, and he announced that he will become a coach soon.
ผมสรีระเล็กตัวเล็กก็ไม่ค่อยได้ถูกส่งไปแข่งไหนจะมากก็จะเอาแต่คนตัวสูงไปก่อนหน้านี้เราก็ไม่เคยมีโอกาส
Kaew said that he is small in stature, but he has been waiting for long to join the Olympic Games. He is grateful for the love and support he has received from Thai people. Kaew not only gets support from ThaiPBS staff, but from all Thais because his boxing brings honor to the whole nation. 5 Chinese activists who were arrested by Japanese authorities when regional tensions flare up on the anniversary of Japan's World War II surrender arrived in Naha, the capital of Okinawa Prefecture, today for further questioning.
The trouble erupted when activists from China used Wednesday's occasion to press rival territorial claims. As the 5 were escorted from the boat, they shouted, "Dayu Island is China's territory. Japan must get out, and down with Japan's imperialism." They are among 14 people which Japan has confirmed are now in its custody. The islands in dispute lie in the East China Sea chain and are known as Senkaku in Japanese and Dayu in Chinese. China's official Xinhua news agency said the arrests of the 14 people, who included Hong Kong residents and mainland Chinese, had caused tensions over its territorial dispute with Japan to surge to, quote, "a new high." Riot police and plainclothed security guards surrounded Japan's embassy in Beijing today, as more demonstrations are expected outside the diplomatic compound in protest against the arrests. The Chinese government did allow a rare and brief protest in front of the Japanese embassy in Beijing yesterday, where a small group of people shouted anti-Japanese slogans before peacefully dispersing. Japan and China traded protests over the incident, with Tokyo lodging a complaint with the Chinese ambassador and Beijing demanding the detainees' unconditional and immediate release. The row over the islands in the East China Sea, which are near potentially vast maritime gas fields, has frayed relations between the 2 Asian neighbours, long bedeviled by the bitter legacy of Japan's wartime occupation of much of China and contemporary rivalry over resources and regional influence. Hugh Adams, ThaiPBS.
Thank you, Kun Hugh. Tropical storm Kaew battered the northern Philippines yesterday, killing 7 people with 2 others still missing. This follows closely behind the severe flooding last week, which claimed 95 lives and caused damage to vital infrastructure and agriculture estimated at about $53.7 million. The heavy rain and flooding has forced more than 2,500 people to flee their homes, and the disaster officials are advising local authorities to evacuate residents living in vulnerable low-lying areas. Fishing boats are being strongly advised not to put to sea. According to the Disaster Prevention Agency, Tropical Storm Kaew made landfall in Isabela Province around midnight and left a trail of damage as it swept across northern provinces, affecting more than 20,000 people in 97 villages. Vast tracts of cornfields in Cagayan were swamped with floodwater, and farmers are already trying to take stock of their potential losses. The Kaew storm was moving at the speed of 17 kilometers per hour and packing wind gusts of up to 75 kilometers per hour. It is expected to leave the Philippines by the end of the day and head off towards Southeast China. Here at Thai PBS News, we have the new job opportunities for English language reporters for the English News Service. To find more details, please visit the Thai PBS website. And if you are interested, send your resume to us at job@thaipbs.or.th. And that wraps up tonight's edition of Thai PBS English News Service. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Rung Tip Chonapalai. Have a good night. สวัสดีค่ะ